Okay, what if your hard drive wasn't just a boring, endlessly scrolling list of files, but a living, breathing city? I mean, really imagine replacing those endless nested folders with a dynamic, explorable 3D metropolis right on your screen. That's exactly what we're going to dive into today. Welcome to this explainer. I'm super thrilled to take you on a tour of a tool that completely reimagines how we visualize and interact with our digital spaces.
Today, we're looking at Bytopolis. It's this incredible open-source native macOS application. Now, if you're a Mac Power user, you probably spend a whole lot of time trying to figure out where exactly all your storage went. Well, Bytopolis transforms that usually tedious disk cleanup process into a literal architectural tour. It turns your disk into an explorable 3D software city, and today we're really going to focus in on exactly how Bytopolis maps that 3D storage. So, here's our tour itinerary for today. First, welcome to the software city. Second, how Bytopolis maps the disk. Third, navigating the 3D landscape. Fourth, AI workers and repositories. And finally, reclaiming your digital territory. Let's get right into it.
Welcome to the software city.
Look, we all share a universal pain point, right? Bloated hard drives. You're working on a project, your Mac throws up that dreaded disk almost full warning, and suddenly you're playing detective, hunting down massive cache files or ancient downloads. A lot of the time, we try to hunt down that space using the traditional terminal command, do-h. And yeah, it's incredibly powerful, but let's be honest, reading a giant wall of text just isn't very intuitive. Bytopolis takes the raw power of that exact command line disk usage analysis and wraps the whole thing in a stunning, interactive 3D city.
Moving on to Section 2, how Bytopolis maps the disk. This is really the core of how this magic works.
Before we can get that sprawling 3D skyline, the app needs a rock-solid foundation to map your 3D storage without lagging. Because, generating a 3D model out of thousands of files requires a back-end engine that is lightning fast. It pulls this off using a really clever index cache. When you point Bytopolis at a folder, it does a one-time deep scan without any depth limits. It just walks the entire subtree. But here's the absolute genius part. It saves those sizes into a persistent JSON file right on your disk, and it smartly caps this cache at 100 megabytes or 50 root folders, so, it doesn't accidentally become bloat itself. Thanks to this mapping cache, when you return to a folder you visited before, the entire 3D city loads instantly. No more sitting around waiting for a rescan.
But files changed, right? You add things, you delete things. To handle this, the app uses an incremental refresh background pass. Instead of just throwing away the cache and rescanning the entire drive from scratch, Bytopolis does something way smarter. First, it quickly checks the modified dates of the directories it already indexed. Second, it only rewalks the specific subtrees that have actually changed. And third, it calculates the size differences and propagates those updates all the way up to the parent folders, so you get real-time accuracy while saving a massive amount of processing power.
Section 3. Navigating the 3D landscape. This is where we see exactly how Bytopolis uses Apple's Scene Kit to visually map your 3D storage, basically translating abstract data into a tangible skyline. Directories and folders become these sprawling city districts. The file size actually dictates the building height. That means your massive 4K video files will literally tower over the skyline like skyscrapers. Then, the building color reflects whether a file is safe to reclaim or if it's something you should keep. If a file was recently modified, it gets this really cool glowing beacon above it. And honestly, my favorite detail? Git repositories are represented as walled facilities, physically separating your code environments from the rest of the city.
Exploring this 3D map is a super tactile experience. You can freely orbit and zoom through the skyscrapers with your mouse, getting a true bird's-eye view of what's eating up your space. And when you want to investigate a specific area, you just use the This Level neighborhood list on the side of the screen. Clicking on a neighborhood lets you instantly drill down, zooming your view right into that specific district of your hard drive.
Section 4. AI workers and repositories.
So, we've talked about the architecture, but a city kind of feels empty without residents, right? Well, you can actually orchestrate AI workers inside those walled Git repository facilities we just looked at. It works in 4 simple steps. First, you select a repo facility in the 3D city. Second, you spawn a headless AI agent like Claude or Codex right inside that directory. Third, as the AI works on the task you gave it, its output streams live to a side panel. Plus, you get this awesome visual of a little avatar bobbing up and down over the facility in the 3D view. And finally, when the job is done, it summarizes the Git changes it made so you can review everything before committing.
And you have an incredible amount of flexibility in who you hire as your AI worker. You've got 3 built-in options. You can plug in your Anthropic API key to use Claude. You can use any OpenAI-compatible endpoint like OpenRouter. But the third option is definitely the most exciting for privacy enthusiasts. You can run a local, on-device model entirely on your Mac using Apple MLX. So you could run a model like Llama 3.2. That means all the AI reasoning happens right on your Apple Silicon chip, and your proprietary code or private files never ever leave your machine.
Section 5. Reclaiming your digital territory.
We have admired the skyline, mapped the storage, and met the AI residents. Now, it is time to put on our hard hats and become the demolition crew. Before you delete anything, Bytopolis runs an offline deterministic reclaim graph. Basically, it classifies your files into distinct categories. It identifies things that are typically safe to reclaim, like massive node modules folders, Xcode derived data, and old build caches, and it separates those from your precious, untouchable files, like personal documents, photos, and your applications. This completely takes the guesswork out of what is actually safe to clear.
But you don't even have to manually look for those reclaimable files yourself if you don't want to. Bytopolis features an opt-in AI reclaim assistant. You literally just type a plain English phrase like free 10 gigabytes. The AI looks at a metadata-only summary. We're talking just file paths, sizes, ages, and categories, never the actual contents of your files. And it comes back with specific recommendations on what you can safely demolish to hit your storage goal.
Now I know handing a demolition laser over to an AI sounds a little risky, but Bytopolis is built with guarded control. The AI is strictly advisory. It never deletes anything on its own. When you're actually ready to reclaim space, you make the final call. You can choose a reversible move to trash action, or, if you're feeling confident, a permanent terminal-style deletion. Crucially, the app has hard system protections built right in. It will flat out refuse to let you accidentally delete your root drive, your home folder, or any critical system directories. You're always in safe hands.
And that wraps up our architectural tour of Bytopolis. By turning a flat, boring list of files into a stunning 3D skyline, it completely changes the relationship you have with your Mac storage. It's visual, it's highly intuitive, and honestly, it's just a lot of fun. I want to leave you with this final thought. How will reshaping your storage into a 3D city change the way you manage your digital life? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Get out there, start exploring your own software cities, and I'll catch you on the next one.